everyone. I am here today with a very special guest. I'm actually here with Ella from Ella Loves Board Games. And today we're going to do a quick little exercise. But before we do that, Ella, please tell us a little bit about who you are and what amazing things you do for the tabletop industry.
So I am in marketing. I used to be the marketing and community coordinator for VR distribution, but I left that to pursue my own things. So I'm doing an arts course currently, and but I still do a bit of social media marketing. I am the creative force, I guess, behind Ella Loves Board Games, which is a YouTube channel. I'm on social media, but also I do previews for the Dice Tower. So there, hi.
Awesome. Yeah, you do so much incredible stuff. It's like, I don't know how you have so much energy. You do
I
like,
don't.
such creative things. Oh my God. I mean, me too. Granted, like, sleep is important, but sometimes we gotta put ourselves first, right? Like
Yeah,
we have to take care of ourselves. But
you do.
yeah, thank you so much for being on this channel.
My
We
pleasure.
put together like a plan, right? Tell us a bit
Yes.
about this plan.
So this basically, how did we start this? I think we wanted to share the mistakes, but also the things that we learned from being in the industry. So one of the big things that we learned is that it's important to do goal setting. And we did.
Mhm.
It was very nice at the end, at the start of the year. We actually did with a group of friends of ours did goal setting for all our different pursuits in the industry, and I think it really gave me a map of what I do in the year. So it'll be the same with if you're creating a game. It's not even like creating, it doesn't have to be a game, but you can apply it in different parts of your life. So it could be like work-life balance, what's your big goal, etc. So that's our idea for today.
I'm really excited to get into this
Me too.
because it is now, what is it? Like it's near the end of March, and I
Yes.
feel like we had that goal setting thing
Mm,
near the end of last year, and I just need a refresher on like
yes.
everything.
Mm,
So I think this is going to be a good opportunity for us to like get refreshed and like figure out what we need to do
correct.
for the next few months.
Mm. So now we're
Cool.
gonna go
So
through it. So it goes in different parts, I guess, from big idea to small idea. Do you think that's right, Banana?
yeah, let's do this. Let's
Okay.
get into the goal setting.
Mm.
And all of this is going to be available for everyone who is interested in setting up their own goals. They want to fill out this template with us. So we're going to have all of this up somewhere. Are we going to have it on Itch
I think so.
or
It's right.
Itch? Okay, we'll have it up on Itch, and you
Yeah.
can, download it for free, and you can fill it out yourselves.
Just in case we
So,
have a new link, you just find it in the description below.
yeah, you can
Look at
find
us
it
being
there.
YouTubers.
That's how everyone says it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
YouTubers, they just say that. Cool. So the first section, my big idea. So when you're thinking of the game you want to create, and this is like for games
Yes.
specifically, like we are focusing on a game idea that we want to make, and we're going to do this all together. So when you're thinking of a game that you want to create, think of these questions. The first question is, why do you want to create this game? It could be anything. Be honest with yourself, financial success, recognition, artistic expression, etc.
Hmm.
And then the second question after that is imagine what it would look like to achieve this. What does it look like? So we want to make a game. Ella,
Yes, we do.
why
And
do we want to make a game?
why do we make a game? I guess because for me, for example, if it was me, like
Mhm.
I have found because I play a lot of games that I kind of want to see the stories that I'm excited about. For example, there have been
Yes.
a lot of scammer stories recently, and I'm really into that. And I think that would be a fun idea for a game. So it's all about, I don't know, with games, it's all about theme for me, and then maybe how you can make that. But I don't know, I'm not the designer. So Banana can jump in terms of that. Do you start with a theme and then think of a mechanic, or how does it go?
Always,
Yeah,
always theme first.
yeah.
And maybe that's just because like I come from more of like a LARPy role-playing background,
Mm.
but even when designing like board games, I start with theme first. So I like your idea of having like
Scammers.
a scammer game. I love that. So I just finished the latest episode of We Crashed.
Oh, I haven't watched
Um,
that yet. I will, I
oh,
will.
so good. It is so good. And I think that like it sort of has the Theranos vibe where they're talking about like a startup, right? But it's based in New York, and so it's just like, okay, so it does, bring up those Inventing Anna vibes, which I really love, and I know that you love it too. So
So if you haven't watched, Inventing Anna is about a scammer who who pretended to be a German heiress and stole a lot of money from New York socialites. And We Crash is about what particular scam?
we were.
Oh, We
It's
Work.
about WeWork. Yeah, yeah. So it was an interesting. So I had seen the documentary about the WeWork before because
Mm.
they were talking about how it got like a little culty. It was like a little weird because everyone was like really into, yeah, like how most companies are just like, okay, you have to drink the Kool-Aid. You're like super into this company that you work for because they provide free kombucha or you have happy hour every day.
Yeah.
So you could be like waking up and going to work and drinking. Like that's basically what the culture was. It was like very fraternity
Oh,
based. So, and like a lot of companies currently, they're like that, all over New York. That's just sort of like how a lot of companies like they try to get the youngins into the door and try to keep them there. So I think that like this sort of like mentality is like really weird, like the scamming mentality where people are just like, I can get away with this
yeah.
kind of feel. Like it's very interesting. I think with Inventing Anna, it feels like a little bit more like folk hero-ish.
Yes.
Like
Like Rob,
I
what's
like
that?
her.
Robin Hood, 'cause stealing from the rich. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I liked her, but like when I watched like We Crashed or like the Theranos one, The
Yeah.
Dropout, it was just like, oh, you're scamming like regular
Yeah.
people.
And
Like
people with
that's not as
cancer, it's like
fun.
just bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It just like doesn't
Hmm.
feel right. But at the same time, that thinking is still very interesting. Like
It is.
I
I'm a,
think,
I'm being, I don't want to be a scammer. I'm just saying that because we're in camera, but I don't want to be a scammer. I just am amazed by their confidence. Like they go for things like, I don't have money, I'll do it. Whereas I
Mhm.
am always like in like, oh, how do I do this? And always questioning yourself. They don't question themselves at all. Maybe that's the
They
benefit of being
don't.
is it a sociopath or a psychopath?
Right?
Right?
But also like if you're playing a game, if you're making like a game about it, you could just sort of like you still get that thrill, right? That
Yes.
like thrill of like, oh, I've done something that I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
But for them, they're probably like they probably believe it. I don't know. I don't know what their
Yeah.
thinking is,
I
but
guess it goes
yeah.
into also when I play games, I don't like playing the good guy because you're like the good, you're, that's what you're playing in society. So it's
Right.
sort of an escape, right? So when we get to play the bad guy, it's very thrilling and cathartic, I guess. Like because there's also like getting back at the big guys who are like richer than you, etc. So yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
temptation with playing a
Yeah.
scamming game. All right, so that how do we fill this in? So we're gonna fill this in, and I guess well, how do we will we show the audience this filled in part? Yeah, maybe we'll give a link to
Yeah.
you a sample of this. Again, link in
Yeah.
the description below.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds like a great idea. I
yeah,
think we should definitely do that. So why do we want to make this game? I guess like going back to that question,
yeah,
like we love the theme.
yes,
Um, I think that like for me, like I want to make something that I'm excited for. Not that I'm not excited for like my other projects. I am, but
yes,
like I just like love like these kinds of stories where it's just like, oh, like I get to, I don't know, steal tons of money from like a mega corp and like give it back to like, the and like, enjoy the riches in life,
yeah.
right? With like the friends I'm surrounded with.
That
Um
yeah, you're right. That's what I was thinking of David and Goliath, not Robin Hood, like the small guy
oh yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
stealing
There's
from the
definitely a
rich.
parallel there.
Cool. So I typed it out. So our idea is the theme of
Mhm.
scamming because it's exciting, and the idea of stealing from the rich
Mhm.
and giving to the poor.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And when we think about like why we want to make this game, I think like so our examples are financial success, recognition, artistic expression. I think we're gearing more towards artistic expression.
Okay. And what about it is
Um,
a sense of artistic expression?
I think we just want to make something that we're excited for, right?
Yes.
Like that's sort of like what the deal is right now. Of
Yeah.
course, like if we make money, we make money off of this game,
Yes.
but there's no expectation for that. Um, I think like sometimes this is like a question that we have to ask ourselves, especially when it's like, when you're making games, like, are you expecting this thing to make a lot of money? Are you expecting this to like give you a lot of, recognition, whether it's like awards or whatever? And sometimes it could just be as easy as just like, I just want to make a thing. Like, I just want to make something fun.
Yeah. And don't be guilty for any of those reasons. Like it's a valid reason to make a game because you want money. Like that's very, very valid. I guess it's if it's only that, then there might be an issue. But it really depends how people are motivated. I remember my teacher also. When you're writing these things, do you feel like aiming high is good, or do you like to tame your expectations at the start, Banana?
Um, it depends. It depends on the game. So like I think with certain games, like say I wanted to make a game that I'm going to pitch to like a larger publisher
Mm,
with the expectation that that it's going to like big stores, right? It's going to like Target, Walmart, like whatever, right? Like with that expectation, I think I sort of aim higher,
mm,
um, because I hopefully will think that maybe I'll get some sort of royalties from that that'll like, help me sustain my lifestyle, and like, help me with, finances in general.
mm.
Um, those are far and few in between. Like I don't get that very often.
Mm.
And like I think especially in tabletop role-playing games, you don't get that a lot. Like you
Yeah.
don't get a lot of people getting paid a lot in royalties.
Mm.
Um, and like mostly it's contract work, right? Like in board games, a lot of it is like, royalties, especially if it's like just your name on the cover.
Yeah.
But with like tabletop role-playing games, because everyone works on a gig economy basis, or sometimes they even sell their games,
Yeah.
it's like a little trickier.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So it really depends on who the audience is for your game, who you're pitching to. In
Right.
relation to that, I remember because I'm doing art, and my teacher says, because I remember when I was brainstorming that I was actually filtering what, because I want to do this because that's where my talent is. And then she caught me doing it, and she's like, no, if you're brainstorming, just put everything in.
Yeah.
Do not filter yourself. So, I guess whatever works for you. So, our ideas,
Mhm.
artistic expression through writing something we are excited for. And
Yeah.
imagine what it would look like to achieve this. What would it look like?
Oh,
Would it be like Inventing Anna? Maybe an Inventing
I
Anna IP game. How about that?
that would be so cool. Like if we could get an IP for this, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But if
Because
we,
there is what's that game of about chess? That movie?
oh yeah, Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, there's actually a board game now
But
of that. So maybe that's what we want.
yeah, I mean maybe that's like our highest goal, right? Like
Yes.
that is the goal we want to achieve.
Yeah. What
Um,
what's a lower goal?
a lower goal
Yes.
is we do exactly like we basically like don't not copy, but we
Yes.
borrow some elements from all of these different scammer licenses and scammer titles and make something new.
Okay.
Um,
And make something
and
new.
yeah, are we thinking this is going to be a board game, a party game, like a card game, or like a
Ah.
RPG? Like, what do we think this is going to look like?
Do you think it could be like an escape room or yeah, like there's a deadline? I don't know. Like how do you portray something that has like because all of those things like they have like a time crunch in a sense. Like Therana, she was gonna get caught without the prototype. With Inventing
Oh,
Anna, she had to get that money by a certain time. Or so, what do you think would best suit something like that? Something time constraint. Yeah.
I think like it would be cool if it was like, so if you have a deck of cards is like the timer, right? Like once you run out of cards, then you run out of time, and then the very end basically dictates like what happens.
Yeah, that's
With,
very cool. So, so it'll be a deck of cards. Will it be an RPG or a board game
like
kind
a,
of thing? Yeah,
it could
deck
be
of
like
cards
a
would be.
cosmic game too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it could be like a storytelling game.
Deck of cards will be timer in a storytelling game. Awesome. Will it be like choose your own adventure kind of thing?
Oh yeah, maybe it could be like that. So I think like if we're going to go that route, like we already are envisioning what this product looks like. I think like a deck of cards, like, you know, all this, if it's like something that has like a choose your own adventure type of element, it's already something that's like pretty approachable, like pretty like you can go to someone, like go to a publisher and be like, hey, this is like a thing that we have. It only has like these elements, like this is it.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, I think that'd be pretty good.
That sounds fun. And it's in like a little black dress, whatever. Like in a little tote bag that you
I
can
love it.
Yeah, yeah. That
I
sounds
love
good.
that.
Okay, are we going to the next step? So the next step are, what are the steps that I need to take to get there? Think about this as a structure for the year. What are the steps you need to take to realize your goal? Okay, so this is a bit serious and hard. Let's think about it. What do you need in order to create a game?
So you need a time frame to work in. So say for example, I mean, you don't always have to like have a time frame, but it's nice to have like deadlines and time frames and stuff. So I think like, say for example, you're like, okay, I want to have like a first draft done within 5 months. Like figuring out what goes into that 5 months.
Right.
So what are the steps you need to take to realize your goal? So first of all, we have the concept down. We need to flesh out the concept. That's first of all.
Okay.
Flesh out the concepts, figure out the mechanics, figure out the quote unquote lore. I guess it might not really be lore. It's just like, you know, you're just trying to figure out like what the theme is.
Yeah. Cool.
What else?
So when you flush out the concept, what's the next stage? Is it you create a prototype already, or do you brainstorm what the possible materials are? I've never made a game.
Oh, I think both of those, right? Like you do both of them at the same time. So we're thinking about like prototyping at this point. It's sort of like rapid prototyping. So like, so say you have the concept, say you have like the brainstorming ready. There's also like discovery and research that goes hand in hand as well. But like when you're making a game, I think like research and discovery, like that happens
all throughout.
Sometimes simultaneously.
Yeah.
So maybe like concept, research and discovery. And then after that is creating the prototype. Yeah, creating prototype. And alongside creating prototype, maybe brainstorming as well. And then after that is playtesting / iteration.
Cool.
Or iteration first. So iterating, like if it works, like playtesting with yourself, and then playtesting with people.
Playtesting with people. And how long does each usually? Do you like work back? Look, I have 5 months, and therefore, what is like the majority of the project? What is the chunk that takes up the most time?
I like to work in like 2-week sprints. So take the 5 months, split it into 2 weeks, and then each of the 2-week segments, you like figure out what needs to be done. So if it takes 2 weeks to do research and discovery and the concepting, then the 2 weeks after that will be the first prototype. And then the 2 weeks after that will be user development and like play testing. And then the 2 weeks after that will be prototype number 2 because you're doing the second iteration. So I think that's like sort of like the cycle of it. And, you know, throughout the entire thing, it's just like continuous, like iterating and like working on this thing.
Yeah. So they kind of blend into, if you get new ideas from people, they kind of blend into each other. Right. Why 2 weeks? Why is 2 weeks the chunk that you choose?
A lot of tech companies, they use this thing called they use agile frameworks. And so agile frameworks, they typically work in 2-week sprints that they call them sprint. Sometimes if it's more aggressive, it could be like a week sprint.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 2-week thing is sort of like, it's just a thing that happens, I guess.
Okay. Okay, I think that's it. So we have time frame, flesh out the concept, research and discovery, create a prototype, iteration, and then play testing with people. Is there another step after play testing? Creating the game.
So creating, I would say like is prototyping. I feel like prototyping, you can just like keep making prototypes until you're happy with it. Like
Right.
whatever is considered done is like considered done in your head and like whoever else is on the team, right? As long
Okay.
as everyone can agree that it's done, then that's done.
Okay.
And also the stakeholders have to be happy with it. If you're bringing it to a stakeholder, like a publisher or something,
Yeah.
then we might have to be like, oh, this is not done. Like you have to fix all of this. Then you would have to go into like the next prototype or the next phase of like next sprint or something like that. And so like I think like obviously with like video games and stuff, it's a lot easier because you just like release patches. You could just like create patches. I mean,
Right.
by easier, I mean like I don't mean like, you know, it's easy work,
Yeah.
but it's like you can
There
create
is
a
a
patch.
solution. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But for like a physical game, it's like how do we fix a problem if someone finds a problem for it,
Yeah.
right? So
Some of people's
yeah,
solutions are bringing out an expansion, but then like not everybody's gonna buy the expansion, so it's very different from a video game.
right. Or
Yeah.
like, you know, create a next print run or like, you
Mm.
know, I don't know, I guess like another print run would be like, or the
Yeah.
second edition or like, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Cool. So we're going to the next part, and there's different boxes here with questions. So the question is, if you don't know where to start, try filling out these boxes below, and they will help. You may draw if you prefer to instead of writing, because that is important. Some people, when they brainstorm, it's really not. They're more visual people, so that's if that floats your boat, then do it. Okay. So the questions are, what am I good at? Uh-oh. So I guess what am I good at is depending on the team. Like I guess with you, what are you good at, Banana? Look at us.
Oh God. Well,
Designing,
we have to get over this. We have
yeah.
to get over this hump of like, you know,
Not
not
talking about what
being
we're
good.
good at. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yes, designing. So you're very good at, you know
I
what?
would say marketing.
I'm gonna do something easy. Yes, you are very good at marketing. You're
Yeah.
very good at social media. You're very
Okay.
good at videography. You're good
So
at
are you.
editing.
This
I
is
feel
this
like it's
is our
easier
dynamic
to
as friends. You always like hype up your friends, and then you're like, me, I can't do anything. I'm like, what? I can do that?
it's easier. I'm totally cheating here. I'm like
Okay,
cheating.
I'll
I'm
do
just
you.
like,
I'll do
hey,
you.
this is
So Banana is very good at designing. I think she's a very good developer because you have taken other people's games and developed them, and they are now in the market.
cool.
You're very good at writing. You're also a good videographer because if people don't know, that is your day job. so,
Thank you.
so yes, so writing, developing. What else? I think networking important in when it comes to
Oh yeah.
yeah. So let's put that networking.
Yeah. I think networking is really important. I feel like people always like overlook networking. It's like, I don't know, like, because I feel like the worst thing that you can do is be like, oh, I'm not, you know, I'm not at the place that I want to be at because X, Y, and Z. Like, here
Yeah.
are all the barriers. And like sort of figuring out solutions to get over those barriers is like the best thing to do it because it's good for you. It's like, you
Mm,
know, it gives you like clarity into like the steps that you can like, you know, can figure out in order to get to a point that you want to be at.
yeah. And linking it to those scamming shows that we watched. So a lot of them actually don't know how to make the thing that they want. What they do is they tap into the people who can do it. So if you can't do
Mhm.
everything, you know, you're actually, so a lot of people think that oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do everything. That's not true. Like a more collaborative environment is better so that you get the thing done. Yeah. Can't be good at everything.
Exactly.
Except Banana is almost good at everything, so.
Oh, stop it, Ella.
All
No, you're the one who's like good at everything. You're like good at art and you're good at videography and
yeah.
marketing.
If only we were rich on top of that. All right, so this
We
is,
just have to get over that.
yeah,
We just have to get there.
we're gonna be rich this year. That's another goal. Okay, so designing, developing, writing. I think we're gonna make this game, Banana.
I really want to make this game. So I actually made a Google Docs and I called it Socialite. Like that was
Yes.
going to be the project. I'm calling it Socialite. But it's basically just about like scammers. I feel like New York, it's like pretty easy to like get into events and like, I don't know, sneak into things and be like, oh yeah, I'm like a part of this or whatever. Like, I feel like it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah. You were saying that, but versus LA, I actually thought the opposite, that LA was easier and New York was harder, but apparently not. So
Easier just because it's just like there are so many events going on that you could just like walk into
yeah.
and like you don't have a guest list really. Like no one really.
Oh. A thing to know when I go to New York. I can scam my way into things. Yeah.
And also people there, like people who are working at the door, people who are like, you know, basically like taking care of these events, they're so underpaid.
Correct.
Like
they're not gonna like beat you up or like
right.
fight for it. Yeah, they just can't go
exactly.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm excited to scam people. Okay, so designing, the developing, writing, networking, marketing, social media, videography, and editing. Okay, I think we've had this. So, what do I know a lot about? So, what's the difference between what am I good at? What do I know? I know a lot about scamming because, oh my god, I've watched so many scamming videos. Yes. Scamming lore. Yeah. Oh,
So I never told you this. Well, maybe I did. I don't know. But when this was like right after college, and there was this huge line outside of this venue called Webster Hall. It's like a concert venue, right? And there was this huge line, and me and my friend were standing in line, and we were just like, I don't know what this is. Let's try and get in. We get to the front of the line, and the guy was just like, you're not on the guest list. You can't come in. And we were just like, oh, okay. So we left. And we saw people come out of the smoking section because outside of Webster Hall, they're off with like smokers. And we saw a bunch of people with like silver wristbands. And we were like, everyone's wearing a silver wristband. Like, how hard would it be to just like go through the smoking section with a silver wristband on? So we go to a convenience store. We buy a silver folder and we cut up the folder so that it makes wristbands. The convenience store employees, they were just like, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to get in? Are you going to get in? And we were just like, we don't know. We're going to try. And so they were helping us make the wristbands.
So we awesome.
It was hilarious. And so we like go into the smoking section, we show our wristbands, and we go right in.
Yeah.
And inside the party, I kid you not, it was ridiculous. It was like tons and tons of people. Paris Hilton was there. Nikki Hilton was there. They were just like hanging out. They weren't even like, there were no, or at least we didn't see any bodyguards. MIA was there.
Where is this? Like, when was this is the question. So 1990s, Paris Hilton was still like the thing.
Yeah, this was like, I think it was around the same time as like all the other scamming shows. Like I think it was like 2016, 2015, like around that time.
Cool.
And then like they had like free cookies and like free cakes and stuff. So we like took a bunch back to like the convenience store and like gave them to the employees, and we were just like eating them and like hanging out.
It sounds so good. So you know a lot about the location, I would say. So you know about the location, which informs the game. Okay. But well, that goes into research, because if you're going to make a scamming game, you must know about all the scamming. And we do, because we watch everything. I also watch a lot of murder, so we could incorporate a little bit of murder mystery. So what do we know a lot about? We know a lot about the industry also, like networking events, how to pitch. What else do we know? Production.
Production. Manufacturing, if we want to go that route, talking to publishers. We also know a lot of people in the industry.
So we also have contacts. Yeah,
contacts. I feel like living in New York for so long has sort of like helped me in like figuring out contacts, just because of stories like I just told you.
Yes. Cool. So next one is, who do I know who is doing something that I admire? Oh, I guess I could talk about like the kind of games I like. So I really like publishers innovate, because I played a lot of games. It's I think which is bad, good and bad. Like the bar for a good game is pretty high. I really like what Sen made, which is Mind Management. It was a very cool game because it innovates on the hidden movement game. I also like what Lucky Duck is doing. They're incorporating apps. Maybe we could put an app into our game, scanning like material, so we could pitch to Lucky Duck. So a scamming theme. So I love that they incorporate the app. And the more the games that they make, the better the integration. Because it used to be like, oh, it's separate. But now it's like integrated into the thing. They also have incorporated RPG into games with like a skill test chart. So I think that's very cool. What about you?
That is super cool. So we talked a bit about games people. I think, like, I always go back to, like, Avery Alder's work. I love Avery Alder's work. I love Jason Morningstar's work. And I love Jian Shim's work. Like, all of her, like, artifact stuff, like, that's really cool. I think outside of games, I would say there are definitely like I follow like a couple of influencers who I think like would be interesting to maybe like look at when it comes to like a game like this, just so that
for
this
the
is also
look.
research.
Yeah, that
now
makes
I'm
sense.
just like thinking research now. Yeah.
Like, influencers
like,
for the look of the game.
Yeah, like how are we gonna package this? Like,
Correct. Okay, what are some pieces of media I enjoy? TV shows, games, books, art. Okay, so of course we're gonna put Inventing Anna.
Oh, yeah.
What's the other one? What?
The Dropout.
The Dropout.
We Crashed. I watched Bad Vegan recently. Did you see Bad Vegan?
Oh, it just came out on Netflix in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look. Bad Vegan.
This
is an insight to our soul, Banana.
That's really good. Oh my god.
We watch the same shows. We're like besties. Okay, Bad Vegan. Yeah, I think that's it. TV shows, games, books, art.
Yeah.
And why are we doing this? We should explain. So this is important because it can influence, the look of the game, maybe the tone also. Like, do you want it to be light or dark? So I guess with the tone, with a lot of these things, I guess Inventing Anna was funny. I loved that it was funny, and part of that is The Dropout is a bit more serious.
The Dropout is pretty serious.
Yeah, pretty serious. We Crashed, I haven't watched. I guess it's not serious because if I see Jared Leto's face, I will laugh.
I did not know it was Jared Leto.
Oh, really?
Like, when I saw it, I had no idea. I was just like, why does this guy look so much like Jared Leto? And I was just like,
apparently it was.
I don't get it. 20 minutes in.
20 minutes.
And then I realized it was Jared Leto.
He's very method. All right, so Bad Vegan. Men can be method. Okay, so Bad Vegan is about. Is it about this lady who cured their cancer? Is that it? No. This is a different scammer.
Actually, I don't know if she cured any cancers, but it was the woman who had a vegan restaurant in New York, and basically the story is that she had a spouse who scammed her.
Oh.
Because like the restaurant was going under, it wasn't like doing so well. They were just like not paying their employees for a bit too. Like there were a lot of weird things going on there. So it ended on like an unsatisfying note for me. It was just like, did she do it for the money?
Yeah.
Did she, or was it all because of him? It was just like,
right.
I don't know. It didn't wrap up as nicely as the other shows.
Yeah. So TV shows, I think pretty much this will be influenced by TV shows, right? The game that we were playing. All right. Maybe art also, like, it could look like a Instagrammy, like a lot of filters, Instagram influencers. Maybe that. That would be cool. Okay. So what are some of the feelings you want to inspire in your work? I want like a sense of catharsis, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, being able to play as a bad guy.
Also that thrill of like getting away with something. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Also, one more piece of media I would add is going back real quick is have you ever seen the movie Ingrid Goes West?
No. Okay.
You would love. I love Ingrid Goes West.
Okay,
I hope you love it too. I really hope you love
it. You haven't recommended something I haven't liked, so I think I'll like it. Okay, what is Ingrid Goes West? Same thing.
So,
Scammer.
similar. So it's about so Aubrey Plaza's in it. Aubrey Plaza's in it.
Love
Elizabeth
it already.
Olsen is.
Okay.
So Aubrey Plaza plays this person who's just not doing so well in life, and then suddenly she becomes obsessed with like this influencer on Instagram, and that woman is played by Elizabeth Olsen, and she goes across to like LA, becomes best friends with her basically by like dressing up like her, trying to
Oh.
like get into like all of the similar things that she's into,
It's like
and
single
she
white
like
female.
kind of, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's just like it's got that dark humor
Yeah.
aspect to it. So it's like a little funny, but it's like uncomfortable funny.
Okay, good. So dark humor. Maybe that could be it. Like a little bit of cheeky, yeah, tongue in cheek kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay, so what are
yeah,
some of the feelings you want to inspire in your work? So that do you want it to be like glitzy? I don't know if the term
yeah,
is glitzy or
yeah. Like glamorous.
like
Like a
glamorous. Yeah, glam.
yeah,
I want it to be glam.
like a glamorous outside, but like inside it's like rotten.
Inside rotten. All right, very good. Okay, what do I want to learn about myself and the world around me? I guess with inventing Anna, it was pretty sad also because I really believed that she believed that she could do it. Like
Yeah.
I guess the underlying theme was the American dream, and that
Hmm.
certain people are only able to pursue it because they already have money. Because everybody was scammed in inventing Anna. Actually, didn't lose anything. They got their money back. In fact, they
Yeah.
got failed up. They got promoted. Whereas her, she's back in Germany. I follow her. So she's now back in Germany. So, yeah.
Oh.
So what is, I guess, what do we learn about ourselves from that?
I think that all of this is sort of like that. It also has that sort of like hero mentality, right? Like
Yeah.
that. It's like you are sort of doing. I mean, it's like a lot of other games, like a lot of other role-playing games, but like this is sort of like you are playing a villainous character, but the villainous character has um, like
Redeeming quality.
it's yeah, it's sort of like redeeming, but also at the same time, like, do they know that they're doing a good thing if they're giving back to people, or are they actually doing it for themselves? Like
Yeah.
it's like that unclear sort of like, it's like murky.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So yeah,
Basically
and
learning
also
your inner what do you call this? Learning about your inner compass, maybe? What
yeah,
decisions you'll make given, oh, that would be good. Like in a game, what decisions will you make? Like, will you use money in order to do certain things, or how far can you push? Maybe the limits,
yeah.
learning about your limits.
Ooh,
Um,
ooh, yeah.
yeah, limits.
And
And
also just like, why are we attracted to these characters? Like,
yes.
why do we find them so fascinating?
Good. Okay, so those are all the things that we want. Because things that you want to learn about yourself and the world around me can be also discoverable in the game. Like you can't just put it down. This
Mhm.
is what I'll learn. You never know until you
Right.
play the game. How much time would you like to dedicate to your project? Which is very important, right? Because like I would say, like me, I have a lot of projects. I'm sure Banana will say the same. And so, how much time? How do you even decide how much time you spend on a game?
It depends on like how much other stuff takes priority. So
Mm,
like if I have, say, like two other projects that are like priority one, priority two, then I could sort of figure out like, okay, what's priority three, what's priority four. And anything that's like below that priority, like if it's like lesser priority, I would spend like not as much time on. So like until I can get to the point where I can clear those other things, then those other things become like priority one, priority two, priority three. So um I would say like starting out, like if this is like a lower priority item, then I would dedicate like once a month to it.
oh, okay.
Um yeah. Until I can clear out the other things. So like for this, I would probably say like we meet once a month. We dedicate maybe like 5 hours out of that month to like
Mm,
do a bit of research, do a little bit of work, create a thing. It could just be like a skeleton, right?
yeah.
Until we get to a point where it's like, okay, uh, we're freed up. Let's take some more time on this thing. And like let's make it like a more regular thing. Maybe like we start working every other week instead of every month. And then once it gets pushed up to like priority 1, that's when the 2-week sprints happen.
Okay. And the last question, what are some resources that I have that can help me push forward with the project? I guess, do you have like a playtesting group that you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that I just like annoy all the
Yeah,
time. That's
friends.
basically it, right? Yeah. Like I annoy you all the time.
No. So we have a playtesting group. What are the resources? We already have a network, I guess. What if we don't?
Yeah.
Like if you're starting out, what are the, like if you haven't made a game yet, what are the resources that you have that you don't think are resources? That's a good question.
Time. So time is definitely a resource.
Yeah.
Time is the most valuable resource, and most important resource. So trying to find how much time you have to put towards this thing. Then you have a day job. You have like a side hustle, and like you have this other project that you have to work on, right? Like, what are you like? How much time can you put into this? Like, ideally, I would say like if you're super super busy, like never push more than like an hour. Like if you can find like a regular schedule, like I would say like if you're doing like if you have 7 days, finding like an hour per day to like work on it could be good, and like scheduling that time in. But like again, if you have like a day job, a side gig, like all these other things, like maybe just pushing it to like the weekend could be doable. Like having that 1 hour of work on it.
Cool.
And then like not pushing any further. Just like doing 1 hour increments and just like not focusing on anything else.
So you do all of your work with 1 hour a week? That's amazing. Okay, cool. Yeah, we always have this idea of like, because media always portrays artists as like, oh, I can't stop working. Like, you know, they work until 4 a.m. Yeah, but I guess that's not feasible for normal people who are like, have all the resources.
But like, also I feel like, so like when I work, like if I have a project where I'm just like, okay, I can only work like an hour on like per day or, you know, per week or whatever, like depending on like the priority.
Yeah.
Then like it's solely focused on that project, right? Like I try to turn off social media. I try to turn off like everything else and just like do hyper focus on this one project.
Cool. A good book to read is Atomic Habits, because I read that about being about being hyper focused and allotting time. So that's a good resource to make. Okay, so what are resources can be pushed forward with the project? I would say that also I would think my best resource when I was starting out and when I had no experience, like I wanted to break into the industry, I went to conventions. So that's a good resource. Like if you don't have a network, if you don't know any publishers, go to conventions, because that's a good way also. There are a lot of panels also about creating games, so that's a good resource.
That's true.
Yeah. What about
I think small conventions are better.
Yeah.
Like
that could be like a source of playtesting also, if you get to, because playtesting is a very important part of making the game. So
yeah, exactly.
What if you don't have money? What could be a resource?
Online, social media. Just like push your stuff online.
Social media. You feel like it really works, like pushing your stuff online?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know what, maybe like, so it's like a chicken or the egg thing, right? Like for me, I did meet a lot of people through small conventions, and like through those small conventions, then I felt like comfortable or brave enough to be like, okay, I'm on social media. I'm going to push myself on social media more.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to meet like more people. But like I started off with like, I don't know, not that many followers. Like I probably had like 500 followers or something like that, right? And then it was through like pushing all the work that I've done through social media. That's like how I met like other people who would boost me or whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, you would do the same thing for them, right? Because you would help them out.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Social media, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Especially now. Social media is pretty important. So,
it's really important.
Sell yourself. Okay, so we're done with all the boxes. I think we're pretty good. And so we have next one, which is discovery and research. In this section, we will go through some research that you can do on your own before starting your game. Here, we'll be asking you to find some pieces of media that could serve as inspiration for your project. You don't have to fill in everything if you can't find anything that would be useful to you. So if we look at the first one, look up 3 games that you like that have mechanics or themes that you enjoy. Write 1 to 2 sentences about why you like them. What would be like a game that could inspire this game, you feel?
So I was thinking For the Queen. Have you played that?
No, not yet.
So it's like, it's by Alex Roberts, and basically you have a deck of cards, and all the cards have prompts on them, and you also have like these specific like queens that the pictures of queens that you serve, right? So you choose one of them, and you go around the table, you like select cards, you take cards from like the deck, and you like answer the prompts, and you build like relationships, and you tell your story through this deck of cards. It's super simple, but so effective. I think it actually won like a Diana Jones Award like a few years back. So yeah, I would say that's one game that I really like, especially for the mechanics. I feel like it would fit with what we have.
Yeah, yeah. The last game that I played like that was weaving a story was Amending. It also had prompts on it. Yeah, that would be,
Yeah.
I think that would be, yeah. In board games, a lot of the themes are very, I guess, not the usual. I guess the usual. Like you really don't find a lot of things where it's about story building or creating. The last theme, the last game that was like that was, do you remember that game where there was a guy who had a heart attack and they
Oh
yeah, and then you had to play through like finding out his backstory. I forgot what that game was, but that was very good. Even Fog of Love where you're like dating.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good game. So not a lot of games are still like that because we're a very new industry. So a lot of the games are usual like we're pirates or
or zombies.
Zombies. Yeah.
I mean,
so
you don't get to play the zombies.
Yeah.
Like, that would be fun. Like, if you get to play the zombies.
that would be so good. That's another
would-
game. I think that would be great. I would love to be a zombie. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Oh, that's don't steal our game. That's our game. Is there another game that we can think about? That's very
Yeah. So I'm thinking about, like, that idea of, like, the thrill, right? Like, what are some, I would say, like, push your, like, luck type of things, or push your luck type of games that sort of, like, give you that thrill? Like, do you think it's, like, only restricted to push your luck, or do you think there are other mechanics out there that would, like, give you that sense of, like, oh,
Time.
I feel, like, good, like, about doing a thing?
Oh, okay.
Kind of
Oh,
like gambling, right?
like a gambling game. Oh, I'm trying to think. Like, what can you gamble? Oh, I'm thinking of game. There are not a lot of gambling games where you push your luck. I guess like oh, can we do that? I wonder. Like in what's that game? I'm really bad with names. No. What's that game where you pick from a bag and you kind of push your luck because the cauldron will explode. So yeah.
Is it with the sticks? Are you talking about the one with the sticks?
No, this one is like gems that you pull out of the bag. I guess we could say like push your luck games. So
Yeah.
yeah, my auntie mind is not working.
Oh, that's okay.
Push your luck games would be good. Like I imagine that you only have a certain set of money and you can push your luck, like gamble that kind of money. Or what was with Anna? Oh, I only have this ID and maybe I can push my luck and get into the show or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So like maybe like you have like items that are attached to time.
Ooh.
So like what if like the more luck you push, the closer you are to ending your story. The closer you are to basically like going to jail or like whatever.
So actually that's in Hentes. So I just played that because they have a time element. So when you take an action, if it's a stronger action, so kind of like, oh, I want to do this right now and it's pretty strong, but I get 2 time, it's actually like what do you call that? A sand timer. And it actually goes into a track and it fills up the track. So the stronger your action, the less actions that you have. So actually that might be pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's use of time. All right.
That's really cool.
See, brainstorming, it works. Okay, right, next one is, do you want to do the next one, Banana?
Yeah, look
Yeah.
up 3 movies or TV shows that you like that have a similar style to the project that you have in mind so far, tonally, visually, etc. Write 1 to 2 sentences about why you like them. So we did a lot of legwork on this already, I
Yep.
think.
Accidentally. We're just being ourselves.
Really jumped the gun. Yeah, we're just like, oh yeah, this is like what we want.
Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so Inventing Anna,
Yeah.
because that's where I guess our impetus was, like from watching the thing. So Inventing Anna because it looks very glamorous. So it's glam, but also like what do you call this? I like the that it delved into who she was.
Yeah, and also it's just like it sort of uncovers some problems, right? Like there
Yeah,
are a lot of problems with like financial institutions, like like delving into that and like
yeah,
exposing it.
yeah. And then we have We Work. Is that We Work? We
Hmm.
Crash.
We crashed.
We crashed. And then we
Yeah.
have what's the other one? The Dropout.
Oh yeah, The Dropout.
Yeah. Whoop.
I feel like The Dropout was just like I don't know. It's like I watch it, I'm just like, it doesn't feel the same as the
No.
other two.
Yeah, yeah. It was. It feels sadder for some reason. Like she. I don't know.
It feels very sad.
Yeah, yeah, it feels very sad. I guess we want that tone, Inventing Anna. I think that's it. What's a more like not even We Crashed, because we want it to be glam and dark comedy rather than sad. So it'd be like Inventing Anna. What's I would say like some of those movies. What's those heist movies? Like um there
Oh, like
there's 7 people. It's a number.
Ocean 11.
Oh, but like
Ocean's
that. Like
11.
I want it to be glamorous like Ocean's 11 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is like a
Oh,
big scamming that's nice. Like I
do
don't
you
want it to be
remember?
like the Leonardo DiCaprio movies where he's a scammer. I really
Yeah.
don't. Oh! I really liked him in what's that movie where he plays the scammer who was a kid who
Oh,
goes.
Catch Me If You Can.
Yes, I think I kind of like that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And
There's
we
also
like.
this other one, which is like a movie about like these MIT students that go and they go into a casino and they're counting cards
Oh, I know
and they like
this. I know this. I know this.
money.
It was Kevin Spacey, right? Who was the teacher,
Yeah. And
and
like
Andrew
in the movie,
Garfield. Yeah.
like Andrew Garfield was in
I
it? I don't
think
remember this.
so. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I remember that. They were like counting cards. Okay. Because I guess the underlying theme is we want it to be like a dark comedy, not serious.
Mhm. Did you
Uh,
know that like the original story for the Counting Cards movie, like the cast or the actual people that the cast was portraying, they were like mostly Asian.
of course.
Yeah, it's like in
Yeah.
real life, I think like some of them are Asian.
Yeah.
Oh, Bling Ring. Have you seen
No,
Bling
Bling
Ring?
Ring is pretty good. Yes, I
Mhm.
watched that. They stole from houses. Bling Ring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because a lot of MIT students are Asian, right? The people who do well. Like even in Harvard and stuff like that. Okay,
They
Bling
like
Ring.
completely whitewashed it.
Well, that's another story. Okay,
Yeah.
now the next one. Do you want to go to the next one, Banana?
Oh, look up 3 songs that you like that could fit the tone of the project that you have in mind so far. Write 1 to 2 sentences about why you like them.
Oh, I really like Rihanna's work. What do you call it? To have your money. Can we say that on
Oh,
YouTube?
yes.
I
Yes.
kind of
I'll just gonna bleep it.
just bleep it. That's how
Sorry.
Rihanna's song is. But I have my money.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm bleeping
exactly.
myself. I kind of like the da da, like a bit
Yeah,
more like a lot of percussion. So
yeah, I
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
What else do you
Um,
like? Oh, if it's set in the 90s, we can have a lot of 90s music.
oh,
Right?
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Do we want it to be 90s?
We could do 90s or early 2000s, I feel like. I feel
Mm,
like early 2000s
would be
is
good.
like, yeah.
What
There
were the
was,
songs in Inventing Anna, actually? Maybe we can inspired by some of the songs there. Let's
yeah.
Google.
So I wanted to do like, I really hope that someone does a TV show about the hipster grifter because I have like a perfect song for it. Like I feel like Crystal Castle's
Okay.
Untrust Us would be perfect for them.
Untrust us?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be
Like
good. What's the
it's very
hipster
like,
grifter?
oh, so did you, so the hipster grifter, she's this Asian woman.
Mm.
She was adopted and into like a Mormon family, and
What?
where she was originally from,
Yeah.
I forget where. It's like not New York or not LA or anything like that,
Yeah.
but middle middle of the country, basically, where she like grew up and started like grifting people. Like she owes some people like it was a ridiculous amount of money, like $60,000 or something like that.
Right.
And then she moved to Brooklyn, where she changed her appearance. She got like a fake tattoo on her chest.
I
She
love
was
this
like,
already.
yeah, she like tricked Vice into hiring her. So like she worked
Vice.
at Vice. Yeah.
What? This
She
is
like
great.
made up a name or something. I don't know what happened, but like, or no, she didn't make up a name. She just like tricked them into
This
hiring
is
her.
amazing.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
then she
think this
got into
this
like
could happen? Is this like recent or like in? I wonder. I
so.
always wonder like if these things could happen now. Like if inventing Anna happened now, are they
Oh,
wiser or?
maybe they're wiser, but I feel like it still happens. Like I feel like it's pretty easy to do this kind of stuff. Like all you have to do is like get someone to trust you, right? And then once
Yeah,
that one person who's like high profile enough trusts you, then that person will like advocate for you
for
to
you.
everywhere, right?
Yeah, like the dropout. I can't believe the people she scammed. Warren Buffett. Oh,
Right?
right? It's
Yeah.
yeah.
She
Betsy
just needed like
DeVos.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're actually pretty much done, but at the end, so do you want to read it, Banana, or should I read it towards the
You
end?
go ahead.
This
I'm
is
just
your
talking so
show. You
much.
should do it. It's your
No,
show.
you do it.
Yeah.
No, you do it. I'll do. How about I do the last part, the
Okay, okay.
digesting the information, and then you can do the top part.
Cool. So we finished, and now basically at the end, when you're ready to embark on your research into the game you want to create, after filling out the information above, think about using these resources. So other YouTube videos, I am very inspired by a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of art channels, video game channels, library books, newspaper articles, interview folks from background that you're writing about. I think that would be exciting. I would love to meet somebody who's a scammer. Follow
I
social
know.
media
I know
accounts who are
people.
experts in the field. I already follow Anna Delvey, so I've got that checked. check the marketplace on itch, Roll20, etc. Okay.
Digesting the information. Once you have finished with your research, take place any links or ooh, sorry, let me redo that.
No, that's fine.
Digesting the information. Once you have finished with your research, place any links or information into a document that you can easily access. Place the most important aspects of the research into a mind map or a mood board.
Oh, love me some mood board. That's how I work.
Right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can use this document because this will be available in the link below.
Yes, you can definitely use this
Yes.
as a part of your research and as a part of
Yeah.
building your game.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Ella, for joining me today
It was
and
very
for
fun.
creating a game together. Like we're basically doing this, right? We're
Yes,
gonna
we
be
are.
making
We
a
are. We're
game.
going to be rich by then. No, I do
We're
love the
definitely gonna
idea
make
of
a
this
game. I
game.
don't know about
Yeah.
her.
This will be very cool if we make it or somebody makes it like a scamming game is great.
I'd be so excited. Well, let us know where we can find you on social media, and tell us some stuff about like what are you working on next?
Well, I'm working on a few projects. There haven't come out. There's a bit of a delay on Kickstarter, as we all know, because of all the shipping delays and COVID is. Now I'm putting the mood down because of COVID. But anyway, there's some delays, but I will have some projects from the OP and other games on the Dice Tower. So you can find me on the Dice Tower, but I have my own channel, Ella Loves Board Games. I'm on social media as Ella Loves Board Games. On Twitter, I'm Ella Loves PG, but everywhere else, I'm Ella Loves Board Games.
Hey, thank you
Yay!
so much, Ella.
My
And
pleasure.
I'm Banana. This is probably going onto my channel, so y'all know me. I'm a game designer, and I own and I've co-founded Game and a Curry. So that is me, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Banana Chan Game. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
Bye.